Hey everybody, Dr. Diane, your chronic illness expert here, talking today about anxiety. And the question that gets asked oftentimes is anxiety common with Lyme disease? The short answer here is yes. It is extremely common with Lyme disease to have anxiety. Now, the other thing to remember, one of the biggest points with this and is anxiety related to Lyme, comes down to making sure that we do not say that it's only Lyme. And I say this because so commonly when I have people come in with a Lyme diagnosis, the world gets really small of treatment. And oftentimes, one thing that happens is we're so hyper focused on the Lyme, and yes, Lyme causes anxiety, and we're so hyper focused on that because we have that diagnosis, and of course we want to treat it, but we become so hyper focused on that we forget that Babesia comes with anxiety, that mold can come with anxiety, that toxic metals can come with anxiety, that pyroluria can come with anxiety. There's so many different disease processes that it can actually relate to anxiety. Simple things like gut problems, parasites, nutrient deficiencies, right? So there's so many different areas, and chronic illness by itself is a trauma. So the body goes into all of the normal trauma PTSD types of responses. That is normal, right? It's our survival mechanism. You're in a survival situation, and survival situations create trauma in the body. And what happens with trauma is future things that come into our lives can remind us of what happened to us. And all of a sudden we feel with anxiety. You know, the war vet example is somebody coming home from serving in a war and they hear a car backfire and all of a sudden they're running and ducking because they think it's a gun, right? And so that's that same type of analogy we can apply to chronic illness. So we have these chronic illness situations and we feel just awful. And all of a sudden we wake up one day and we actually have a cold. But that cold can trigger us and trigger our memory, just like in the similar way as a war vet, right? We get triggered by our past experiences, and the body then surges this extra adrenaline, surges this anxiety because it's a PTSD scenario. So yes, anxiety can be caused by Lyme, yes. But we want to make sure that while we're looking at Lyme, while we're addressing it, we're not keeping our focus too narrow, because all of these other things can also contribute. Plus, the emotional PTSD that is natural, that is common, but also has to be addressed in order to really reverse these types of trauma types of situations. So I hope you will join me for all of the super useful and educational information that I'm going to put out in May, which is Lyme Disease Awareness Month coming up. So make sure you go to the show notes and take my quiz. The quiz is insights into other hidden root causes that you might not have looked at yet. So that's the purpose of the quiz. You can find that in the show notes. Make sure you check that out, because that's going to give you insights into, is it something beyond Lyme? And that will also get you oriented to my information so that we can send you all of the free and lower cost information, all the educational material that we are really pumped up to get in your hands next month for May, Lyme Disease Awareness Month. So I hope you will share this with your friends and family. It's super important information. And thank you for joining me on another video.